A janitor died in 2014 with $8 million in his bank account. Ronald Read never went to college, never worked on Wall Street, never won the lottery. He just understood something about money that Harvard graduates still don't get. Money isn't about intelligence, it's about behavior. And the difference between those who build wealth and those who stay broke comes down to 5 psychological patterns. Master these and you change your financial future forever. This is Secret Ledger, where we expose the truths they don't teach you. Let's start with the first behavior wealthy people understand. They know everything has a price. Imagine you want to own a piece of Netflix stock. You buy it today, thinking you've spotted the next big thing. Then tomorrow, the stock drops 20%. Next week, another 15%. Your portfolio is bleeding. Your spouse is asking questions. Your friends think you're crazy. This is the price, not the dollar amount you paid. The real price is the volatility, the stress, the uncertainty, the sleepless nights. In 2011, Netflix lost 80% of its value. Investors who bought at the peak watched their money evaporate. But those who understood the price, who accepted volatility as the admission fee to wealth creation, they held on. Today, those shares are worth 30 times what they paid. The S&P 500 has been down 20% from its peak for a combined 13 years since 1980, down 50% for about 8 months total. That's the price of long-term returns. Most people want the returns without paying the price. They panic when markets drop. They sell at the bottom. They miss the recovery. The wealthy, they view volatility differently. It's not a crisis. It's the cover charge for building generational wealth. If you can't stomach watching your net worth swing wildly, you won't capture the returns that create real wealth. Accept the price or accept average returns. Your choice. Second behavior. The wealthy know when enough is enough. Here's how the trap works. A doctor named Bill earns $500,000 a year. Top 1% of income earners in America. By any measure, he's rich. Nice cars, exotic vacations, financial security. Bill feels successful. Then he buys a vacation home in the Hamptons. His neighbor is Stan, a CEO making $10 million a year. Suddenly, Bill's $500,000 feels small, but Stan doesn't feel wealthy either. His childhood friend is Michael Jordan, worth $2 billion. Stan's $10 million now looks like pocket change. And Michael, he attends parties with Jeff Bezos, worth $200 billion. There's always a bigger fish. This is the never enough trap, and it destroys more wealth than market crashes ever could. People leverage everything, trying to keep up. They take risks they can't afford. They bet on insider tips. They sacrifice their families, their health, their freedom. Some lose everything and end their own lives. The system is designed to make you feel inadequate no matter how much you have. Capitalism is brilliant at 2 things: generating wealth and generating envy. The wealthy who stay wealthy, they draw a line. They define enough. They don't trade what they have and need for what they don't have and don't need, no matter how tempting. Because the moment you fall into the comparison trap, you've already lost the game. Third behavior. The wealthy understand that what seems crazy to you makes perfect sense to someone else. Lowest income households in America spend over $400 a year on lottery tickets. That's 4 times more than wealthy households. More than a third of Americans can't come up with $400 for an emergency. They're literally spending their emergency fund on lottery tickets. Seems insane, right? But step into their perspective. You live paycheck to paycheck, no savings, no career trajectory, no way to afford college for your kids without massive debt, no hope of ever owning a home or retiring comfortably. The lottery ticket isn't just about winning money. It's buying hope. It's purchasing a dream that you might escape a system designed to keep you exactly where you are. For $5, you get to imagine a different life. That's not crazy. That's rational given their circumstances. Understanding this makes you a better investor. Different goals require different strategies. A billionaire's portfolio is designed to preserve wealth. Your portfolio should be designed to create it. Those are completely different games. Copying a billionaire's strategy when you're trying to build wealth is like using a fire extinguisher to start a fire. Wrong tool for the job. The wealthy understand their own goals, their own risk tolerance, their own timeline. They don't copy, they adapt. Fourth behavior, the wealthy prepare for disasters they can't predict. The Great Depression, World War II, Black Monday 1987, the 2008 financial crisis, COVID-19. What do these have in common? They shaped our world. They crashed markets, and nobody saw them coming. Nassim Taleb calls these black swan events. They're outliers that seem impossible before they happen. They carry extreme impact, and after they occur, everyone claims they should have seen it coming. Human nature fools us. We believe we're smarter than history, that we'll see the next crisis before it hits, that we'll sell at the top and buy at the bottom. Here's reality. If you invested in the S&P 500 20 years ago, but missed the 4 best performing days, your return drops from 291% to 164%. 4 days, out of thousands. And those best days, they usually happen right after the worst crashes, when everyone's panicking and selling. You can't predict which days matter. You can't time the market. What you can do is prepare, mentally and financially. Keep cash reserves. Don't leverage to the max. Build portfolios that can survive 50% drawdowns. Stop listening to macro predictions. The events that will cause real fear are exactly the ones nobody's forecasting. The wealthy don't try to predict disasters. They build systems that survive them. Fifth behavior. The wealthy resist the seduction of pessimism. If I tell you the market will crash, that government debt will trigger hyperinflation, that a new pandemic is coming, you'll probably find me intelligent and persuasive. If I tell you the market will keep rising, that technology will solve our problems, that humanity will continue progressing, you'll think I'm naive. Why does pessimism sound smart, while optimism sounds foolish? Evolution. Daniel Kahneman explains that organisms treating threats as more urgent than opportunities have better odds of survival. We're wired to fear loss more than we value gains. Pessimism also makes better stories. Progress happens slowly over decades. Disasters happen overnight. It's easier to craft a compelling narrative around sudden collapse than gradual improvement. But here's what the data shows. Life expectancy rising, poverty decreasing, technology advancing, clean energy getting cheaper. The world is getting better, even though pessimists will always sound more sophisticated. The wealthy understand this bias. They don't ignore risks, but they don't let pessimism paralyze them either. They stay invested. They stay optimistic about long-term progress, because betting against human innovation has never worked. So here's what you need to understand about money psychology. You won't build wealth without accepting volatility as the price. Envy will destroy you faster than any market crash. What seems crazy to you is rational to someone else. So understand your own goals instead of copying others. Prepare for disasters you can't predict instead of trying to forecast them. And resist pessimism's seduction, because the world progresses even when it doesn't feel like it. These 5 behaviors separate those who build lasting wealth from those who stay trapped. The system doesn't teach you this. Schools don't cover it. Financial advisors rarely mention it, because wealth isn't really about spreadsheets and stock picks. It's about psychology. It's about behavior. It's about understanding how your brain works, and not letting it sabotage your future. This is Secret Ledger. If this changed how you think about money, subscribe, because the game never ends. But now you know how to play it.